Hi students, good morning. This is Mohan Teja, your English lecturer from Department of English. So today we are going to discuss on listening skills. So in our first semester English curriculum syllabus, the very first unit is listening skills. So here we people need to learn the proper listening skills. Why? Because here we people need to know the importance of the listening. So our curriculum starts with only listening. So I would like to invite all you to the lecture and we will continue it. So first of all, before we go into the main business, we need to know the difference between listening and hearing. So we all know that, and we always think that listening and hearing both are synonyms or same. But actually these two are different. Listening is different and hearing is different. Whether it is listening or hearing, the receiver receives some sounds from the speaker. Okay, so when the receiver receives some sounds, that is just some perception, nothing but taking some sounds from other sectors or from other person, from other sources. So if you want to call it a listening, the listener has to show some focus on the speaker, means the listener should become very active in the listening process. So whenever the listener or the listeners are very conscious, whenever they pay more attention on the speaker, then only that process is called listening. So here hearing is different one. Here some receivers, they may not take the sounds properly. How? Means sometimes they may not concentrate on the speaker. Okay. How? Sometimes a speaker may speaks. When the speaker speaks, the listener may not show much focus or more attention on the speaker. At the time, that listener may not receive the speaker's message. So that listener may not become a good listener. So that is not a good listening. That is called hearing. Hearing means simply receiving some sounds without paying any attention or without paying any focus. So here we should know the difference between listening and hearing. Hearing is different and listening is also a different one. So next one is, in these listening skills, we are going to discuss the following subtopics. So the following subtopics all will be discussed in the first semester in the first unit. For example, in the listening skills in the first unit, we will have some topics like importance of listening, types of listening, barriers to listening, and effective listening. So here each one has its own what we call dynamics and importance. First of all, we should start with the importance of listening. So listening is one of the most important skill, and remaining other skills are also very important. But if you compare with other skills, listening is a very important one. Okay, all other skills will depend on listening skills. Next one, listening will help the listener to understand the speaker. Then only the listener able to respond to the speaker, or listener may provide some answers to speaker's questions. So here it is not about question and answers, it's about understanding. When the speaker speaks, the listener has to understand what the speaker is saying. So without understanding, that listener may not provide proper answers. So there may not be a proper understanding. Third one is, listening is a very important activity. So it doesn't mean that it is only for students. Listening is not meant for only students. It is very much needed skill, and it is a very important skill for each and every one, irrespective of professions and irrespective of ages. So we all should learn listening skills. Next one, the second one is types of listening. In the second topic, we discuss types of listening. So all listeners are not same listeners. All listeners are not good listeners, and as well as all listeners are not bad listeners. Some are good, some are bad, some are very very passive, some may not listen. So we have different kinds of listeners. So we may not bring all them under one tree, one under one umbrella. Okay. So here we discuss different styles of different types of listening. For example, we have some important listening types. I will tell you now some very very few which are very very important and which has a great impact. So first one is active listening. Second one is appreciative listening. Third one is critical listening. Fourth one is empathetic listening. Fifth one is biased or selective listening. Sixth one is passive or false listening. Here, all these listening types indicate and belong to different categories. So, all these will be played by a single person, means an individual, or sometimes some people may provide us, they play different listening types according to their situation. So, we all change our skills, we all change our actions according to our situations. So, suppose if there is a listener, he is very very active in the class, but when he is in his home, or when he or her in that person home, they may become another type of listener. Sometimes an active listener in the college will become a passive listener in the house. Why? Because here the listener show much attention on their lecturer. But when the speaker is very very close to us, suppose in our home, the listener may not focus on that person's parent or brother and other people. Why? Because they are very close. So that's why they may not show that much importance, means they may not show that much attention, they may not pay that much attention on the speaker. So here all these will be played by an individual, or some people may play different types of listening in their prospective and respective areas. Okay, so we start with active listening. Active listening means it is a very 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 most important listening. We everyone needed to have it. Means we need that skill. Why? In this type of listening, the listener will pay much attention on the speaker. Then only that listener, whether that person is he or she, understand that speaker. Next one is, moreover, here the listener is very very conscious. In the active listening, the listener is very conscious. Why? Because he wants or she wants to observe everything whatever the speaker is saying. The active listener always be perfect in the listening process. Okay. Next one, the listener, whether that person is he or she, always present good body language. Means that listener will sit in a proper order. He or she may present good body gestures and postures in the class. That person, that good listener, that active listener will maintain good eye contact. So whenever we maintain good eye contact with the speaker, that provides some activeness to the both people. The listener will get some good attention. Moreover, at the same time, the speaker also get good connection with that listener. Next one, the active listeners never be deviated by any obstacles. Why? Because they know how they listen to the class, how they listen to the speaker. That's why they never be deviated by any kind of sounds or other deviations. They always be perfect, effective, very very effective. Next one. So in active listening, there are very very less chances for barriers. Means active listeners, they may not get more barriers. Means they may get some barriers, but that barrier count is very less. compared to other listening types. Next one, appreciative listening. So we all know that what is the meant by appreciation. So here the listener tries to listen to the speaker. When the listener listens to the speaker, that listener will appreciate the speaker's message or content. So that is called appreciative listening. So here the speaker will be appreciated by the listener. So here this appreciation goes to the speaker. It will appreciated by the listener. So here appreciation is always provides some good vibration, positiveness to the speaker. Then the speaker will involve in the matter very effectively. So this is a very good kind of listening. Third one is critical listening. This is the most important listening type we need to adapt. Why? In critical listening, some listeners they will play very crucial roles. How? The critical listener always observe the speaker very carefully. That listener will observe that speaker's body language, the speaker's content, the speaker's modules, the speaker's speech, the speaker's message, or the speaker's delivery of presentation, everything. So that critical listener will observe the speaker keenly. Then that listener will evaluate the speaker's content, the speaker's message. So critical listening sometimes called as judgmental listening or evaluative listening. So it is a very important listening among all. Next one, empathetic listening. It is another great what we call skill. I don't call it a word. Empathetic is a great skill. How? Whenever we have this quality, empathy, then only we understand other people. So nowadays we never bother about others. But whenever a listener has this quality, empathy, then only that listener tries to understand his speaker from speaker's point of view. So empathy means understanding other person from that person's point of view, from the other person's point of view. So empathy means understanding the speaker from speaker's point of view. Next one, empathic listening will provide great understanding and it also provide effective communication. So when we know about others very well, when we understand our speaker or other people, then only we maintain, then only we build good communication and good relationship with others. So empathy is not only for listening, it is a great skill. We all need to learn empathy. So whenever we have good empathy, then only we understand our other people effectively. Next one. So we have different kinds. I would like to conclude my video with this. Hope you all understood. See you.